and I am so excited you guys are all here this evening. So, my name is Dr. Stacy Holweger, and I am going to be sharing the science and tech with you of Lifewave's X39 stem cell activation patch. Now, this technology it's revolutionary. Let me tell you that. It is light years ahead of anything else. So I'm going to be explaining how it works, what it does, what it can do for you and people that you know and care and love, and also be answering your questions a little bit later as well too. So keep tight on those. I will definitely be checking the chat here in a little bit. But before I get started, I wanted to share with you our disclaimer. So even though I am a doctor, I do have a PhD in integrative medicine and a PhD in functional medicine. I am not a medical doctor and I am not your doctor. So if you have any questions in regards to your health, any medications that you're on or anything like that, of course, please check with your healthcare practitioner or your doctor and they can give you the best advice. Lifewave and the information I'm sharing tonight, of course, is not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, prevent anything at all. And as always, if you're pregnant or nursing, consult with your physician. And so that's my little disclaimer. So let me get right into the science and tech. So that way I have plenty of time to answer your questions. So the X39 stem cell activation patch is the patch that I'm primarily going to be focusing on tonight. I will talk about some of the others as well too. But I wanted to share with you, first of all, for me personally, if you're a guest tonight, thank you for being here. You may or may not have heard my story, testimonial, the reason why I'm using this. So for me, I have actually been utilizing different types of stem cell therapies for actually 22 years. I found out about stem cells when I was pregnant with my daughter. I banked both of my kids' cord blood and was able to do a lot of research into stem cell therapies after my daughter had a brain bleed and was in the hospital for a year when she was 4 years old. So this was back in 2007. And so after getting her out of the hospital, we, of course, went down a very holistic path and was able to use different types of stem cell technologies and therapies over about a 15-year period. And we went in and out of the country to get stem cell injections. We did hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy. We did all different types of quantum tools to be able to help her body, specifically her brain, to heal from what had happened during that year in the hospital. But when I found this technology, which was just a little over 2 years ago now, I was completely blown away that there was something so simple, easy, effective, affordable, and non-invasive to be able to use with her and with the rest of the family very easily without any worries, right? This technology has no side effects. There are no contraindications. It's literally the price of a cup of coffee a day. And so we were able to use that not only with my daughter, but with my son, myself, and my husband. My daughter, we noticed changes right away with her speech, with her voice, new words, communicating easier, faster. And we saw changes in her hormones, her balancing of her cycles. We saw improvements in her body physically. Being in a wheelchair for 15 years, she had had a lot of physical limitations and restrictions, and we saw a lot of that change. We saw just a different level of joy and happiness in her life. And so that was really life-changing, right? To be able to have that type of experience with her that we hadn't had. With my son, he's young as well too. So we, noticed with him improvements in exercise, fitness, endurance, things like that, basketball and lifting. He still patches today. If you don't know this, my daughter did pass away last year, very unexpectedly. But I am here today still sharing this information with you because of the impact that it had on her life and on our lives for that first year of using the patches with her, and knowing that it will help you as well too, and your loved ones and people that you care about have a better quality of life. For my husband, he had He had broken every bone in his body pretty much, except for I think his right leg. He was a dirt bike racer, so crazy, crazy guy. And he had huge improvements in pain and flexibility, mobility, sleep, not getting up in the middle of the night anymore, just, a lot more energy and that type of thing. So for me personally, no health issues or conditions to report. Thank God. I was always using the things that I was doing with my daughter on myself as well too. And so for me, the big thing I noticed in the first maybe 3 to 4 weeks was improvement in my exercise, fitness, and of course, then mental, as far as like processing time. I always kind of joke and say my first PhD that I received was before Lifewave, and it took me a year. My PhD in integrative medicine. After Lifewave, my PhD in functional medicine took me 4 months. So definitely being able to take in a lot of information a lot faster with that aid of the patches. But really, for me, it's about looking at prevention and wellness and longevity and being able to reverse the functionality of my organs and cells. So I'll be 49 in a couple weeks, but my biomarkers show that I'm in my mid-20s. So looking at my blood work, looking at my systems, my organs in my body, everything's functioning as if I'm in my 20s. And that is really important for longevity. So tonight I'm going to talk to you about the types of things the patches can do for you, but also how it works. So if you have what I call your grocery list of issues, of problems written down, that's fantastic. You're going to be able to cross those off as time goes on, and I'll talk to you about how that works. But if you don't, I highly recommend that you spend some time in the next day or two making a list of all the things you're experiencing. And maybe you don't even realize, maybe you just think these are things that are common as we age, right? But, age is a number, but we do know that you're born with an abundance of stem cells. That's why 5-year-olds don't have heart disease and 10-year-olds don't have gray hair and 12-year-olds don't have back pain, right? There's so many stem cells in their body. We all start as a stem cell, and those stem cells then become different types of cells, organs, and tissues. But you have some that are always just stem cells. They're pluripotent, which means they can turn into any type of cell, tissue, or organ that your body needs for repair and regeneration. Think about when you're a kid, right? Boundless amounts of energy, sleep like this in a crowded room, fall off your bike. How many of you fell off your bike or fell out of a tree or flipped a four-wheeler like I did as a kid? And your body heals so fast, right? It's those stem cells going to work to repair. I know when my son crashed his dirt bike when he was 10 years old, his little wrist that he fractured his little wrist there, it healed up, boom, in just a matter of a couple weeks it was back to normal. And that's because those stem cells go to work to repair and regenerate. Well, by the time you're in your 30s, you have half of your stem cells that are active. The rest are there, they're just dormant, they're tired, they're wore out, they're like, oh, gosh, we spent 30 years keeping you young. But by the time you're in your 60s, you have less than 10%. The other 90% are there. They are just dormant. They are tired, they are wore out, they're exhausted, and they're not going to do anything for you for repair and regeneration. So if grandma falls out of bed, she's probably not getting up, right? Or if she does, she may never completely recover. And so that's the difference between a kid falling off of a bike and someone past, their 50s and 60s injuring themselves. So we start to see that degeneration process happen in the body as you age. And so this technology, X39, the stem cell activation patch, is actually going to help repair and regenerate your body in whatever order your body needs. We don't get to pick. Okay, this is not a stem cell injection. This is not stem cell PRP or any type of therapy like that where you get to pick where your stem cells go. This is actually a non-transdermal patch. And so it's very different than what's out there in this country and other countries for options to be able to help your body repair and regenerate. The beautiful thing is this patch being non-transdermal means nothing's entering your body. So there's no worry about something happening incorrectly, improper cell division or complications or side effects, because it's your body doing just what it did when it was a kid. It's a beautiful thing about this is that you don't have to worry about any of that, right? It's non-invasive. We're not putting any needles in the body. We're not pulling blood out, spinning it, and putting it back in, right? I did that with my daughter. So knowing that is very attractive to me, knowing that there's nothing going into my body or nothing coming out that I don't have to worry about. But also that this is accessible. This is easy to use anywhere, anytime, any place. This patch, the X39 stem cell activation patch, is designed to be worn during the day. So when you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, right? I hope to God you do. You brush your teeth and you put your patch on, okay? When you go to bed at night, you brush your teeth, you take your patch off 12 hours later. That's the way this is designed. So how is this working then to elevate my own stem cells, to mobilize my stem cells, to get my body to work to repair and regenerate itself? Well, that's what David Schmidt has invented. That is inside of this patch. Do you see that little white part, that white disc that's in there? Embedded in that little white disc is what David's invented. It's a crystal lattice structure. It's reflective, crystalline, okay? Not like a clear quartz crystal or an amethyst. That's not what's in there. But a crystal lattice structure, which is a solution, molecules that form together a very specific way. It's proprietary, of course. He's invented it. It's patented. We're in year 3 of our 20-year patent of this patch. But it is a proprietary blend of organic amino acids, oxygen, water, and sugars. Now, not sugar from your kitchen, not amino acids like I drink every morning when I get up, but solution of stereoisomers, molecules that form together in this lattice that are reflective. So that's inside of the patch. Doesn't go into your body, right? Non-transdermal means not entering the body. No substance, no chemical, no nutrient, no mineral. Nothing's entering the body, okay? Except for a wavelength of light. So when I put this patch on, my body emits heat or light. How do I know that? Well, it's dark outside. I live in Florida, so it's dark outside right now. If I were to go outside right now, I couldn't see the neighbors or animals outside unless I was looking through night vision goggles. If I look through night vision goggles, then I can see the outline of the person, of the animal, from the heat that their body is emitting. That is what this patch is working with, that heat or low-level infrared light that we emit. So I put this patch on in the morning. Immediately, my body's light or heat hits this patch and reflects back into me a very specific wavelength of light. That's between 400 and 1,000 nanometers. That wavelength of light is responsible for elevating a peptide in your body. Peptides are chains of amino acids, proteins, right? The building blocks of your body. It elevates GHK-Cu copper peptide. That peptide, I want you to write down this website, reverseagingwithghk.com. That peptide, Dr. Lauren Picard discovered over 50 years ago. And it is responsible for so many things in the body. But please know that it's the holy grail of anti-aging, okay? It's just an amazing peptide, and it does so many things in the body. And this patch elevates that peptide. Well, one of the things that happens is it actually resets a third of your genes, a third of them reset back to their young, youthful, healthy state. When I heard that, I was like, sign me up, right? Genes are up-regulating and down-regulating all the time. They're turning on, turning off based on our food, our environment, our water, our stress, our mind, our thought, right? And so resetting a third of my genes the second I put this patch on, whether I feel it or not, I'm probably not going to feel that happening, am I? No, of course not. But it's happening the second I put the patch on. Well, one of the genes is responsible for mobilizing your own stem cells. It's P63. So it activates, elevates, and mobilizes your own stem cells. How do we know this? Well, guess what? David has done clinical studies, and he also has independent labs and doctors that have done clinical studies on this technology. He actually has a double-blind placebo controlled study that shows that this patch elevates your GHK-Cu copper peptide. And David has invented a dozen different patches. X39 is one of his most recent patches, coming out a little over 4 years ago. And like I said, we are in year 3 of our 20-year patent. David himself holds over 150 patents. I can't imagine having one. I can't imagine inventing anything. I'll be honest with you. I can read, I can research, I can digest information and share it, but I don't know about inventing anything. And maybe one day, I don't know. I'm still young. But for him, he's been inventing ever since he was tiny. Actually, his most recent patent, just found this out not too long ago, his most recent patent of his most recent product that will be coming out, or whatever it is, it's going to be coming out in the next year or so. They didn't even have a category in the US Patent Office for it. Now, there have been over 10 million patents issued, and they didn't even have a category for what he invented. They had to create a new category to give him a patent to put into this system that they have, because his technology that he's invented that is coming out in the next year or so is that far ahead that there wasn't even a patent for it. So this man is a genius, but yet he's a most amazing, humble, kind, caring person, and he is here to help people improve their quality of life. So know that this is backed by real, long-term science and research that has been done with people to prove the effectiveness of the patch. But of course, I'm sure you were invited here by someone who cares about you, who likes you, who you trust and believe in, and they wanted to be able to share this with you so that you can improve your quality of life too. And that's really important. You know, my good friend April Vaughn, we've been friends for 20 years. She's the one that shared this with me for Taylor. She said, I've come across something that's helped me with my symptoms. Now, she'd been in a wheelchair, pain, hands all swollen, all that kind of stuff. Couldn't even, they were wanting to put her in the hospital and put her on, tons of medications. Her quality of life was really low. And she had great results within just 7 days. And she said, I really know this will help Taylor. And of course I said, absolutely. Whatever you think will help my child, I'm in. Give me the information, give it to me. I want it. And so if you had somebody invite you like that, then you need to give them a quick text and say, thanks for introducing this to me, because it's something that can definitely help you improve your quality of life. And so when you put the patch on, like I said, I don't know if you're going to feel anything, but I do know it's working immediately to elevate that peptide, to start the mobilization of your stem cells, the activation and elevation of your stem cells. But what I will tell you this is sometimes people do feel something, pretty quick in the first few days. Not always, but sometimes people do. And if you do, that's okay. But the clinical studies are what's important to me. Right? That's important. What is happening to a massive amount of people? Well, we can see that about 80% of the people notice a difference, a change within the first 3 to 6 weeks. This is not a fix 30 years of problems in 30 days. Okay. We are going to talk about regenerative medicine, and repair and regeneration takes time. So know that when you activate your stem cells, it's going to take time for them all to become active again. And that's going to happen based on your age. And there is a compound effect. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But when you put the patch on, like I said, it's happening right away, whether you feel it or not. The first 3 to 6 weeks is when we see about 80% of the people notice pain reduction. They notice better quality sleep. Deeper REM sleep. They notice more mental energy, clarity, focus, concentration. Like I told you, about 3 to 4 weeks, my processing time really sped up in my brain. They notice more physical energy, faster recovery from activity, fitness, things like that. I was running laps around people in the gym around 3 to 4 weeks. They didn't know what I was doing, but it was just the patches. And so people also notice faster wound healing. We can see that in people and in pets. My dog, for some reason, yesterday, she woke up fine, and then all of a sudden she started limping. My Frenchie, just limping, and just was having a hard time with one of her back legs. And I'm like, what is going on with her? This is not normal. So I stuck a patch on her. She could barely get into bed last night. It was not like her at all. I stuck a patch right on the back. I took a picture. It's so cute. She's a Frenchie, and she has black on the back and white on the rest of her back. Her little butt's black. And so I stuck that patch right there. It was like a perfect curve for it. And this morning she got up and she was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Like nothing ever happened. And she limped all day yesterday. I don't patch her every day because she's not even 5 years old yet. I'm like, she's fine. She's got a long life to live. But, a lot of times people patch their pets. I put a brand new patch on her, but you can put one that's on you. You can take it off at night when you brush teeth, and you can stick it on your pet to help them improve their quality of life too. What we start to see after that 3-week mark is pretty significant when we look at clinical studies. We see improvements in the digestive system. We see improvements in the nervous system, and we see improvements in the immune system. But something really awesome happens around 6 weeks. So again, we're not talking about a couple days. We're not talking about 30 days. We're talking about 6 weeks. Looking at the clinical studies, we can see improvements in your vascular system. Your cardiovascular system is part of that. So every 6 weeks you're using the patch, your vascular system starts functioning as if it were 8 weeks younger. Now, we all have a heart. We have one heart. It's really important that we take care of it. We know heart disease is the #1 killer. That's not a good statistic. So we want to keep that heart young and healthy. And using the X39 does that. And we can see that compound effect, again, using it consistently. We can see it in the brain around that 6 to 12 week mark with coherence, bringing the brain into balance, lowering anxiety, and really helping those cognitive abilities. And so the longer you use the patch, again, remember stem cells, your stem cells are pluripotent. And so the longer you use the patch, the more things you'll be able to cross off your list. You're making your list of all your symptoms, all your issues, all the things you are experiencing that you want to eliminate because they're decreasing your quality of life. Now, here's the general rule of thumb. 1 month for every decade you are old is your starting point. Remember, I said this is not fix my 30 years of problems in 30 days. Okay, that's not what this technology is about. This is about time, giving your body time. You cannot pick where your stem cells go. Remember, this is not an injection. So, and even if I put this patch on my shoulder, say my shoulder hurts, and I stick it here, it doesn't mean it's going to impact my shoulder, right? You can stick it on your center of your forehead and it can impact your shoulder. It doesn't matter where you put the patch. Okay, so anywhere works. I stick it here so you guys can see it. Our studies show back of neck, below the belly button, because you have to have controlled situations during studies, and CV7 is a pretty big place where a lot of nerves come in. And then below your belly button is another spot they use in the studies, but anywhere works. But remember, we can't pick. And so if you say, well, my knee hurts, I want this to fix my knee, your body may say, I'm sorry, your liver's shot. We're going to go to your liver first, or we're going to do some work in your heart. And it may not directly impact your knee immediately. And we have some supportive patches, and we'll talk a little bit about those that can help support different systems and organs and things on your body to help eliminate your symptoms that you're experiencing a little bit quicker, so that you do have a better quality of life while your body is going to work to repair and regenerate in the order that it wants. So 1 month for every decade is your starting point. Now, a lot of people say, well, how long do I have to patch? Do I have to do this forever? I don't want to do something I have to do forever. And I always say, well, how long are you going to eat healthy? How long are you going to get a good night's quality sleep? How long are you going to exercise? How long are you going to drink clean, healthy water? How long are you going to pray or meditate or do your breath work or connect with nature? Like, is that just something you want to do short term and expect a lifetime of results? It doesn't work that way. And so when you look at stem cells, your body's own stem cells, you have to give them time. And it's based on your age. Again, so if you're a 60, it's going to take 6 months to get them all active and mobile again. They're tired, they're wore out, so it takes time. Give it that time. We all know people that are on here right now, and we have 250 of you on here now. We all know there's people on here now that have been using the patch longer than that time, right? That 1 month for every decade. And the reason why is because they've crossed a lot of things off their list, but they want to get some other things off their list. And they also want to start that age reversal, that youth renewal process. And that happens the longer you use the patch. I always tell people time goes by no matter what. You're either going to get older or you're going to get younger. This technology is proven to give you the ability to actually cross those things off your list, repair and regenerate, reverse, restore the functionality of the organs and systems and cells and tissues in your body. Old cells, old organs, old tissues, when you use this, your stem cells become young and youthful again, and they turn those old organs and cells and tissues into young, youthful cells and tissues and systems. We just see that in our studies, and we see that in people. You know, I'm sure all of you have some type of blood work, some type of scans, some types of tests that have been done. And so we recommend that you monitor your progress. you monitor your success, right? Not only on your sheet of paper that you're saying, okay, now I'm sleeping through the night. Now I don't get up in the middle of the night anymore. Okay, this ache and pain is gone. Wow, I have more energy than I've had in 2 years, right? You're monitoring that stuff. But then also when you go to your doctor, you get that repeat blood work or your scans done again, and you're going to see changes, not in a couple weeks, but over months, over time frames, right? And for the price of a cup of coffee a day, it's by far the best thing I've ever seen in my entire 20 plus years in holistic health and wellness. I've never seen anything as effective and affordable and simple and easy and accessible as this technology is. So if you're on medications, again, like I said, I'm not your doctor. I'm not here to make any recommendations for you specifically, but know that there are no contraindications to using this patch. Okay. My father-in-law was the first person that I patched outside of my immediate family. He has a pacemaker. He has a defibrillator. No, what does he have? He has a pacemaker or something else. I don't, maybe a defibrillator. He's had a knee replacement. I don't know. He had all kinds of stuff going on, right? No problems using the patches. Been on medications, now he's off medications. So if you've had like a stent or a hip replacement or knee replacement, you don't have to worry about anything with the patch. Okay, again, check with your doctor, but just know that there's not any contraindications. The only thing is if you have an organ in your body that did not come to this planet with you, so you've had a transplant, we don't have clinical studies, and so we don't make any recommendations if you have a heart or a kidney or a liver or a lung in your body that you weren't born with. So we just don't know. If you're on immunosuppressant medications, no one's lining up to say, study me, let's see if it works or rejects my organ that I've waited so long for. And that's just it, right? If you're on chemotherapy, obviously chemotherapy kills everything in the body. We do have people that have used the patches while on chemo, but we typically say just don't use it on the days that you're getting chemo because it's going to kill everything. It's kind of a waste of money. Use it on the days that you're not, if you're doing that, right? So again, check with your doctor. Remember, this is a non-transdermal patch. So you're not putting a chemical or a nutrient or a substance into your body that can interact. This is signaling a peptide in your body, activating, elevating that GHK, which is in turn elevating your own stem cell production. Your stem cells go to work to repair and regenerate whatever's needed in your body in whatever order that we don't get to pick. Okay, so let's real quick talk about, and then I'll get to your questions. Let me talk to you about Eon, because you're going to start asking me questions and I'm going to say these things over and over again. So X39 and Eon are what I call the dynamic duo. Eon was the #1 selling patch that David had, that Lifewave had, until he released X39 a little over 4 years ago. The reason why is because Eon reduces inflammation in the body, different inflammatory markers. So broad spectrum anti-inflammatory. We know inflammation causes pain. We know inflammation is the root cause of disease in the body. We all know that. So this reduces inflammation. That's huge for the body's ability to repair itself. This patch also puts your body in what's called a parasympathetic state. If you're in a sympathetic, your nervous system is fight or flight, go, go, go. You're stressed all the time. How many of you have ever been stressed? I live in Florida, drive down Interstate 75, and that could happen every day. So I know you all have experienced stress. So that's where your nervous system is in that fight or flight mode. Your body can't heal and repair itself when it's stuck in that sympathetic nervous system. And so the parasympathetic state, that's your calm, rest, relax, digest state. That's what this patch helps your body get into. It helps regulate your nervous system. Now, if your nervous system is in this calm, relaxed state, how do you think it's able to repair and regenerate? Much better, right? Because everything is relaxed and calm. And so I call this a dynamic duo, and David explained it this way. He said, if I were to go get a stem cell injection, and they injected, say in my shoulder, 2 million stem cells, the inflammation in my body is going to come into that area, right? That's why it's in pain. That's why I have range of motion issues. I may only end up with 200,000 stem cells because the inflammation is going to consume the majority of them. So why is this important to use with the X39? Because you have inflammation in your body. We all do, whether it's from accidents, injuries, surgeries, food, lifestyle choices, whatever it may be. When you reduce the inflammation at the same time you're elevating your own stem cell production, you set the body up for more rapid, dramatic repair and regeneration process. So inflammation coming down, stem cell production going up, the body repairs and regenerates quicker. That's just the way it works, right? We call this our happy patch. That's because it helps bring your body into that calm rest state. No one's happy when you're stressed out. No one is. You can't be stressed out and happy at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. So being able to get your body in that calm, rest, relaxed state is really important. And that's what Eon does. So when you're going to ask me these questions that I'm getting ready to scroll through my comments section over here, if you have one, please put it in there. You're going to say, what about for this? What about for that? I want to remind you that I cannot reference any diseases. We have no clinical studies on diseases, okay? We would be considered a drug, right? FDA regulated then, because that's the only thing that can treat or cure. And so we don't have any studies on diseases. We study the systems in the body and the organs in the body. And know that these two patches are going to help every system and every organ and every issue in your body. I promise everything. Okay, so I always recommend to start here. And I may recommend one or two other patches after that for you to use down the road. If you want to just use X39, you absolutely can. Just be okay with it taking until. I cannot give you a time frame. This is not a drug where you're like, oh, my blood pressure is high. I'm going to take this pill and poof, it's going to go right down. Like, did that actually repair your heart, or did it just make the number look pretty? So I can't give you a time frame like, oh, you're going to be fine in 3 months, or you're going to be fine in 6 months. I can't pick how your body's going to repair. And guess what? Neither can you. So again, that's why I always want to stress the time, knowing that if you help the body by reducing the inflammation, right? Supporting the systems. We know this helps the organs in the body as well too. Then you can see sometimes a little bit quicker in that recovery and repair process, because you're supporting the body's natural ability to reduce that inflammation. Your fibrinogen, your cytokines, your lipids, your C-reactive proteins, all those things that should not be out of balance, they get out of balance. And if you can't get that inflammation back down, that's when you really start to see that disease process stick in. So I'm going to go to the questions. Okay. We've got about 30 minutes. So when we're talking about, someone was asking about neurological issues. So when you talk about the brain, of course, X39 is always fantastic, and Eon as well. X49 is David's most recent patch that he invented about 2 years ago now, actually. It's fantastic for the brain as too. It's great for neurological things. It does a lot more than that, but it's wonderful. And here's the thing with glutathione. Someone's asking about glutathione as well for the brain. So when you have different types of neurological issues and conditions, we know there's a buildup of toxicity. And glutathione is the master antioxidant, master detoxer, and immune booster. So it's fantastic to help neutralize all toxins in the brain, all toxins in the body, everywhere, right? To help to detox and to really boost your immune system. Here's the thing I want to tell you about glutathione. X39 elevates your glutathione by 30%. That's fantastic in and of itself. I would always start there with your X39 and your Eon. If you want to add the X49, that's fantastic as well too. This elevates your glutathione by 300+%. And again, you wear it for 12 hours, but it sustains that elevated glutathione level for a 24-hour period. Your glutathione supplements or IV pushes, they're only going to elevate it about 20, 23%, 7-minute half-life. So this is super powerful. This is not something you're probably going to do every day unless you're super healthy. If you're someone that's on a lot of medications, we know medications are toxins. They're man-made. They're synthetic. They are toxic. And so if you're on medications, then we like to make sure that you start with your X39 to elevate your glutathione that way, knowing that you might detox a little bit, okay? I wouldn't start with this on day one unless you're pretty healthy, not on medications. Then sure, absolutely. But just to kind of caution you, because it is a big antioxidant, a big detox. How to help that situation out? Water. So when you're patching, we require you to drink half your body weight in ounces every day. Most people don't. They don't come anywhere near it. You can see that my water has limes in it. Why? Because, well, they're alkalizing, but they also taste amazing. I love limes and lemons in my water. If you don't like the flavor of water, soak it in strawberries or pineapple overnight or cucumbers or mint, right? But do something to make sure that you're drinking half your body weight in ounces every day. Your body needs to get rid of the toxins on a daily basis. Your body needs water. If you're consuming coffee or alcoholic beverages, of course, those are super dehydrating. So overcompensate with a little extra water. Make sure that your water is clean, that it's a clean, healthy source of water. Stay away from, your typical cheap bottled waters, $3.99 a case. You're better off get yourself like an RO system, or drink some spring water, get some type of filter, a Brita pitcher, something like that, to be able to help clean your system. As I needed a drink right there. So always make sure you're drinking half your body weight in ounces. Okay. So let's look at our next question. So when you look at the eyes, okay, X39 is fantastic. Of course, Eon. Yes, of course, always. We can see great improvements with the eyes, all types of things with the eyes with carnosine. Carnosine is amazing for the eyes. It's amazing for a lot of things, but we can definitely see the impact in the vision. But even just with X39, people that use X39, they go get their eyes tested again. These are readers. They are 1.25. I used to wear 1.5s, and honestly, I really don't even need them. Totally, I can see the words in the chat. They're a teeny bit blurry, so I use them so they're not blurry at all. But I was a 1.5, and now I'm a 1.25. So that's fantastic. Before long, I'll be able to completely eliminate them. So if you go to the doctor, the eye doctor, then you can have your vision checked, of course, and see the changes and differences. And that's happened for a lot of people. As far as the other patches you're asking about, X49 is fantastic, Alavita is fantastic, glutathione is fantastic, but I don't want to say they directly impact the eyes in any specific way. So we have a client that wears a smartwatch, and he's aware of his blood pressure. He reported that his blood pressure increased from normal a little bit, and so this is great. So a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Dr. Harmon. Dr. Harmon is a chiropractor 40 plus years. And he talks about the heart, and he talks about people. No, I take this back. Dr. Pattison, not Dr. Harmon. Dr. Pattison was talking about this. He was a chiropractor for 40 plus years as well. So he was talking about the blood pressure and the heart and the pumping of the heart. And as you're older, you should have a higher blood pressure to be able to get everything moving through, right? Your heart's aging. And so I don't want to say it's normal to elevate your blood pressure. That did not happen for me. But if your blood pressure does go up a little bit, or even goes down a little bit, just stay consistent with your patches. The patches are not causing your heart, your blood pressure to go up, to be concerned. They're trying to balance, right? Your own stem cells are trying to balance your body. And so if you notice that change in your blood pressure, like again, stay consistent, but go back to my YouTube channel from 2 weeks ago. I interviewed Dr. Pattison, and he really gets in depth with that and talks about how and why that's happening and why you would stay consistent with your patching. Remember that repair and regeneration happens like this, okay? So we don't always see this straight line to success, that everything is like, woo, I'm all better now, right? Sometimes you're going to have that ebb and flow. We can see that in our studies with the brain. When we look at the EEG and brain mapping, we can see the brains. There were 54 pages of studies. We can see some people at the beginning, they had, super incoherent brains, and we could see some improvements in around 3 weeks and huge changes in 6. Others got worse. You could see changes that are like, whoa, this is really getting out of balance. But it took longer to get their body into balance. Not that it caused any negative side effects. I'm not saying that. But getting the body into balance is different for every single person. So definitely stay consistent with your patching, but go back and listen to Dr. Pattison. I don't have time to get into that tonight. Does the temperature of your body affect how much light is reflected? No, that's a great question. It does not. So it doesn't matter if you're run hot, run cold, if you're in the sauna during exercise, whatever, it does not matter. When you put the patch on, that low level infrared light that you're emitting, that is what is interacting with our patch. So it doesn't matter. Your actual temperature does not matter. And your whole body whole body is emitting heat or light. So it doesn't matter where you put the patch, you can put it anywhere and it's going to work. So as far as the genes, this patch elevates GHK-Cu copper peptide. One of the benefits of that is it resets or upregulates a third of your genes back to their young, youthful, healthy state. So not altering them as in making them something that's not beneficial, right? Changing them back to their young, youthful, healthy state, upregulating. Genes are upregulating and downregulating all the time based on your thoughts, based on your environment, your food, your water. That's called epigenetics, right? And so if you look at resetting or upregulating a third of them back to their young, youthful, healthy state, each gene has expresses to one or two other genes. So that's why I talk about that compound effect of continuing to use the patch day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, as you are resetting and repairing and regenerating. So it's definitely a huge, huge benefit to be able to reset a third of your genes immediately when you put the patch on. If you've been patching for 3 weeks and you haven't seen any results, hopefully you heard my explanation of there. It takes time. It takes time. And we only have time. You're either going to get older or younger. So if you're patching, you're going to be able to get younger. Cross those things off your list. And if you're not, you're going to continue to degenerate and get older, right? So if you're on medications, check with your doctor. I'm not your doctor, so I'm not here to make any recommendations, but there are no interactions or contraindications with the patch. It's non-transdermal. Nothing is entering your body, okay? So let's look at do not leave the patches in the car. So that's a great point. We don't leave the patches in the car. The car is probably hot right now this time of year. So if you've left them in there for a couple hours, no big deal, right? They're in transport. Here in the US, we transport from San Diego, where our warehouse is, to your house. I live in Florida, other side of the country. They're perfectly fine when I get them. If you've left them in there for a week, they're no longer good. So I wouldn't do that consistently, obviously, or any more than just a few hours. So if you haven't felt great, like a little bit of a fever and things like that, then so X39, of course, Eon, you can use glutathione and carnosine daily. Carnosine is another big antioxidant, second to glutathione. Glutathione is systemic throughout your whole entire body. Carnosine likes to hang out in specific areas. So you can use those. They are big immune boosters, and that would probably be beneficial for you to boost your immune system with those. So Alavita patch, absolutely. Love Alavita. Alavita is a nighttime only patch. This patch is to be used at bedtime. You can put it back of your neck, below your belly button. Some people do center their forehead to get those lucid, kind of dreams and stuff, deep dreams. But Alavita does elevate your melatonin a little bit. It is not a patch for sleep. That's what our silent nights is for. But this patch signals a peptide in your pineal gland. And so that peptide is responsible for your skin. It's responsible for lines and circles and wrinkles and spots and sagginess and crepiness in your skin, keeping your skin young and youthful and glowing. So this does anything to do with the skin. That's what this patch does. But it also reduces oxidative stress, inflammatory stress in the body. We know that aging on the outside is a direct reflection of what's happening on the inside. As we age, our cells, they die off, they don't eliminate from your body correctly. We call that autophagy or apoptosis. And so if you picture like an apple tree, and you would, if that apple, you watch that apple fall off the tree, you'd pick it up off the ground and eat it, no problem. But if it'd been there for 7 days, you would not eat it. That's called oxidative stress. That's what it looks like after it's rotting, right? A tomato rotting on the ground, or a zucchini rotting in the garden that hasn't been picked. That's oxidative stress. And that's what's happening inside of our body at the cellular level. And so this patch reduces oxidative stress. It reduces inflammatory stress. Again, differently than the Eon reducing inflammation because it's signaling a different peptide. But it's huge for this on the outside, right? It increases our collagen production. Collagen's the glue that holds everything together inside of your body. And of course, it's responsible for your hair, skin, and nails as well, too. But so much more than just that. If you have an aortic PIG valve, you're fine. That's totally fine. No worries at all. That's not an organ. And we have lots of people with different valves, so you're okay. But check with your doctor, right? Because I'm definitely not an aortic PIG valve doctor. Bone density came back before diagnosed with osteopenia and borderline osteoporosis. Okay, so there was a thing in that I couldn't read it. So we use X39 and X49 to stop bone loss and increase bone density. We can see little changes in the first 60 days, but we can see huge, significant changes in the first year with stopping bone loss and increasing bone density with 39 and 49 combo. Best placement for Eon, day or night? Personal choice. Daytime patches. You ready? X39, X49, energy enhancer. Daytime only, not at nighttime. Okay. There may be a random strange person here or there that uses it at night. Not that you're strange, but that's just not what we recommend, because it can give you energy, and it can give you mental energy, physical energy. Those can. Obviously, we know energy enhancer. Hello, that's what it does. But X39, 49 can do that as well too, differently than energy enhancer. Nighttime patches only. Alavita and Silent Nights. All other patches can be used day or night, personal choice. Some people like Eon at night below their belly button. That's a triple warmer spot in traditional Chinese acupuncture points. And so it does help to kind of bring your body into a calm state, helps to calm the monkey mind. If you're someone that can't shut your monkey mind off, then obviously shut your TV off, shut your phone off, get away from all electronics, give yourself an hour before bedtime, don't eat, get your room nice and dark and cold. Good health, healthy sleep practices are super important. But you can use that Eon at night or daytime. It's up to you. When you look at the back, herniated discs, someone's asking about, we can see improvements in about 12 to 18 months. I would use 39, 49 Eon, of course, for that. And I just say that because we've just seen scans from chiropractors from people. Maybe your body may help repair faster than that, but I would give that a solid 12 months. Go to the chiropractor. Get a good chiropractor that's easy and on your body and can help get your body back into balance. Let's see. So when we look at the ears, we don't have any studies on hearing loss or tinnitus. When you look at ringing in the ears, we would use energy enhancer right here. Energy enhancer is a 2-patch system. So white right here on that TMJ, tan left. Go get an adjustment. That would be very beneficial. We also use, of course, X39 and Eon. Glutathione is another one that also helps with that as well, too. You've got heavy metal toxicity up in here. So when you look at your bones, X39 Eon, X49, right? That would be very beneficial. Icewave if you have pain. We haven't talked about Icewave yet. So carnosine, if you Google carnosine as a nutrient, you can find that carnosine does a lot of things. Someone had asked if it gets rid of aluminum in the brain. When you Google carnosine, not our patch, because we don't have clinical studies on this, but when you Google carnosine as a nutrient, you can see that it will help eliminate aluminum from the brain, which is a huge heavy metal toxin, right? If you eat out of aluminum pans, if you use aluminum foil, if you use regular deodorant, you have aluminum in your body, and it's not a good thing. It's like lead, mercury, cadmium. Those are toxic heavy metals. If you have the mercury fillings, the amalgams in your mouth, that's seriously toxic. And the longer you leave them in, the more that obviously has been leaching into your body, specifically your brain, your whole life. So find yourself a really, really, really good holistic dentist. But as far as aluminum goes, we don't have any claims that any patches get rid of aluminum. Glutathione's a big master antioxidant. Carnosine is second to that. So those 2 patches would be great to help to neutralize toxins in the body. So you can wear the patches while swimming. Absolutely. You can wear them while exercising, sweating, definitely. So if the patch happens to come off in the pool, and maybe someone's asking in the pool and not the shower, put a Band-Aid over it. It may be the water, the chlorine, or the salt. Maybe, we swim in ours. We go to the beach in ours. Sit in the sauna in our patches. We don't shower in them just because We don't put them on until after the shower in the morning. Speaking of myself and my husband, but you can shower in them, sweat, swim, all of that stuff. All right, so, oh, good. You guys have great testimonials in here. I love that. So again, eyes are going to be your X39 Eon, carnosine, fantastic. So if you've been patching for almost a year and all of a sudden you're something going on was painful, you could feel something that was a pain that you hadn't felt before. We call that retracing. And what that means is your body repairs in the order that it wants. We can't pick. And so if you've been patching for quite some time and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this old injury or this, issue, and I'm starting to feel this again. I haven't felt that forever. That's just those stem cells coming into that area, right? Waking that up and going, hey, let's get in here and repair things. It's okay. Keep patching. No worries. What if the patches are left in a hot car? We already talked about that. The patches are patented and clinical studied. Absolutely clinically studied. Yes. Let's see here. So I'm not really I don't really know what, Susie, if you'll have to elaborate for me. I'm not for sure what wicked unsettling is. So we'll have to elaborate on that. Remember, I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't know all the medical term. I've never heard of wicked unsettling, but there are a lot of diagnosis. Again, we don't talk about any specific diseases. So give me your symptoms. Give me what you're experiencing. That would be a better way to describe it. So nerve pain, X39 Eon, Icewave 100%. That would be very beneficial. Icewave you can put on the bottoms of your feet, that K1, the balls of your feet. That's a great place to put Icewave, or you can put them into your low back, kind of break up those pain channels. Pain is stuck energy, so Icewave opens up the energy channels. So when you look at neurological issues, again, X39 Eon, X49, carnosine are all great for the brain. So when you look at the liver, so organs, we can see benefits in the organ function from a lot of our batches. X39 Eon, X49, glutathione, carnosine, alavita. We can see statistically significant improvements in organ function from all of those patches. I'm not saying you have to use all of them, but I'm just saying they all do benefit the organs. So any of those patches would work, but always start with X39 Eon. Expiration dates, 18 months to 24 months. That's our time frame, about 18 months. So X39 in one area, Eon in the other. Should you move where you wear them? That's your personal choice. I went probably the whole first year and stuck all the patches directly below my belly button. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, straight down below my belly button. It does not matter where you put them. You can rotate them if you want to. We have an instruction booklet. So if you want to use this as a guideline, so say, for example, this is carnosine, and say you pick that top spot, center of the chest, right? Use it for at least 7 days before you pick a different spot, okay? And then switch it to the next one if you want. I've never actually put carnosine on any of these spots. I always just stick it below my belly button. So it's your personal choice, but stay with a spot for 7 days if you are interested in moving them. Some people like to move their patches around, but you don't have to. You can I do this every day. You can have X39 below your belly button, take it off, and stick the alavita at night in the exact same spot. Now, I will tell you this. I don't know if I have my Silent Night booklet here or not, but with Silent Nights, that's a patch. I don't have it over here right now. It's on the other side of the room. But that's a patch you want to pick the acupuncture points that are in there. And same thing with SP6. Pick those acupuncture points. Energy enhancer, same thing. Pick those acupuncture points and stay with one for at least 7 days before you change. But like your YH series, your 39, move it around, do whatever you want. It's no big deal. Some of them are directly connected to those meridians. Some of the patches, like I said, energy enhancer, SP6. You can get energy from putting the energy enhancer other places, but I would stick with what's in the booklet, especially to start with. So Eon on the forehead, you can definitely do that. Glutathione on the temple, carnosine on the right, you can do that. I don't really get into protocols. I know some people have different protocols they look at and stuff. just put the patch on your body. I promise it will work over time if you use it. It really will. If you're an acupuncturist and you're used to, different points on the body, then of course you can, move it around, do whatever you want to do with your clients. But I would definitely just put you can use what's in the booklet if you're looking for guides, or just put it on the body. Are all the patches non-invasive and non-transdermal? They are all non-invasive and they are all non-transdermal. So nothing's going into the body. When you look at kids, we don't have any clinical studies with children, of course. The first 2 people I patched were my kids. I will tell you that. I started patching for my daughter, Taylor, who was in a wheelchair, nonverbal, required full care. But when you look at the brain, X39 is always your starting point. Eon is always the second patch you go to. And I used both of those with my daughter, and I also used carnosine with her. We didn't have X49 at the time, and we used X39, Eon, and carnosine every single day. Made huge, huge changes cognitively in her. So that was just what I personally did for my child. So when you've had long symptoms of some type of virus or bug that was going around, still is some places, I guess, you would use your X39 and your Eon, right? Those would be your definite first starting points. Energy enhancer is great. Turn over the lymphatic system, get that excess toxins out of your body. I would eventually introduce glutathione and carnosine as well too. Probably not out of day 1, but I would use the X39 and Eon immediately. Give yourself 30 days using that. Use the energy enhancer. That's going to turn over that lymphatic system. It's going to give you energy and stamina, endurance, which is probably something you're severely lacking if you still have those symptoms a long time. So that's important. Do not refrigerate the patches. They do not need to be refrigerated at all. Just keep them in your regular house temperature, right? My house is like 73, 74 degrees. Keep your patches in your house at regular temperature. I would hope you would have air conditioning in your house, but definitely do not put them in the refrigerator. Pain, X39 Eon, Icewave. Icewave is not going to fix your problem, but it is going to get rid of your pain on the spot. This is a patch. It's a 2-patch system like our energy enhancer. Energy enhancer was the first patch David invented. Icewave is second. And so this is where your pain is. If my shoulder hurts, white right, tan left. If I got a headache, white right, tan left. If my wrist hurts, white right, tan left. Okay. But I will tell you, if you go to Lifewave, Icewave on YouTube, you will find that David has done 4 or 5 different videos. They're real short, 4 or 5 minutes each. And you will be able to see different places and ways that you can apply the Icewave. He calls it the clockwise method. So you can see different options as well too. The thing is, again, pain is stuck energy. So you open up those energy channels with the Icewave. I don't know which spots are going to open that up for you, but you can definitely watch some really quick videos to see options as well. When you look at knee injury, X39 Eon, we will use glutathione, Eon on the inside of the knee, glutathione on the outside of the knee. You can put the X39 right on the kneecap. That's fantastic. But again, time is your friend. I promise. Okay. So Alavita works with the skin again. So anything to do with the skin, Alavita is going to help with that. Lines, spots, wrinkles, moles, imperfections, bumpy areas, that kind of stuff. Alavita is going to smooth all that out. We can see with the X39 collagen production really starting to come on board around that 90-day mark. So we can see increases in your collagen from X39 as well too. Okay, so which patches? So stimulate hormone production. So I don't want to say that our patches stimulate hormone production. When you look at X39 and Eon, I've already mentioned what they do. SP6 is a patch that balances your endocrine system. Endocrine system is a system of glands and organs in your body that are responsible for your hormones. And so this can bring that into balance. So that would be a fantastic patch for you. Our Shine and Dream, which are aromatherapy mist sprays that David has invented. They're not just aromatherapy, I'll just put it that way. They can definitely help to balance out that system as well too, in a totally different way. So I would definitely use those. Shine is morning, Dream is evening. Shine helps increase your oxytocin, so it's energy, happy, connection, love, feel good. Dream is put you in that nice dream state. at night. So better be using it while you're in bed because you'll be nighty-night. Okay, so when we look at energy, and there are no different colors to choose, just one color. So inside of your sleeve, there is a divider. Okay, on one side will be one color and on the other side will be another color. So move that divider so you can see. This is an empty thing of ice wipe, so it's not in here. But your brown is on one side and your white is on the other. Okay, let's see what else we have. So your instruction booklet, yeah, okay, I'll tell you this. So your instruction booklet says that you can wear any 2 of the YH patches at the same time. I've been wearing all 3 at a time. Do they stop working if I use all 3? So here's the thing. You can use Eon, glutathione, and carnosine, all 3 every single day. I talked to you a little bit about glutathione and how it elevates your glutathione. And if you're on medications, go slow with that. Okay, you don't want to, because it's a master detoxer, master antioxidant. For some people, especially if you don't methylate correctly, if your MTHFR is off, you don't have that correct methylation, which there's a lot of variance to that, then you could have a little harder time detoxing. That's why we always say start with X39. It elevates your glutathione 30%. It's going to help get that that system going and moving. But you can use all of them every day. If you're healthy like myself, I use all 3 of them every day. Why? The oldest people on the planet have the highest level of glutathione, right? I want to neutralize any toxins in my body and help eliminate any toxins and boost my immune system every single day. Making sure my inflammation is low. Obviously, my stem cell production is on point. They do not stop working if you use 3 of them at one time. Okay, they're not going to stop working. They don't contraindicate each other. Every patch is signaling a different peptide in the body, and so they all work individually and they all work synergistically, but they cannot contraindicate each other and cause one to not work or be effective. If you have pain in your left or right leg and foot, you can definitely put the brown patch on the same. Yes, you can. So reaction to adhesive, so your skin doesn't like it. So that's a beautiful thing about the patch. You can take it off. Oh, they never like to come off of me. So you can put it on the inside of your shirt like this. And now it's still working. It's right there, still working. Remember, your body emits heat or light. Picture sitting next to a person and they're like, oh, you're like, oh my God, you're so hot. I have to move away. Or what about if you're freezing and you move next to them, like, oh, warm me up. That heat is emitting off the body. So it doesn't matter if the patch is on the inside of your shirt and just that part of it is facing your skin. That comes off your body 2 to 4 inches. And so you can stick this in your pocket with the back still on it and it's working. So it does not matter if it's touching your skin or not. We recommend you do because it does, signal the skin, of course, with the little nerves on the skin. But if your skin is sensitive, again, this is a 3M hyperallergenic patch, so we do not have reactions and things like that. But if you do have a sensitive skin, then just stick it on the inside. Oh my God, we're already over on time. How did that happen? How did we go over 4 minutes? I'm so excited to answer all your questions. I missed you guys. So if I didn't get your questions answered tonight, I apologize. Please get back with the person that invited you. They will be happy to get your questions answered. We're all connected. We're all one big family, and we love to help each other. So please get back with that person. Thank you for being here tonight. I will get this recording uploaded to my YouTube channel later tonight so you can share this with anyone.